Welcome back. Welcome back. You are listening to Whissel Wednesdays here on AM 1170 The Answer. My name is Kyle Whissel, your host with Whissel Realty. Joined, as always, by Mr. Jason Hall with Team Home Loans. We've got the girls.
Go Chargers!
Got the girls from Whissel Realty, Sonia Azizi, Karen Vaughn. And before the break, we were talking with Mr. Red Griswold with Griswold Law. And Red, what's the best website? If somebody wants to learn more, I know you do a lot of article writing, put a lot of information on your site. What's the URL for your website?
Sure. It's www.griswoldlawsandiego.com. And Griswold's Griswold. Griswoldlawsandiego.com.
Awesome. So, Sonia, you had a question for Red.
I did. I wanted to know who hires you, the people with the lawsuits, or, who hires you?
Right. No, it's a good question. So I'm not hired by either party, by a plaintiff, by a defendant, by a law firm.
Okay.
I'm formally appointed by a judge. So, and that goes in line with the aspect that I'm a neutral party. I don't work for that one co-owner maybe who filed the lawsuit. I don't work for the other co-owners that find themselves as defendants. I truly am that neutral third party, almost like a mediator, to relate it to different contexts. So formally, the judge appoints me as that court-appointed officer. So I'm an extension of the court system and report back to the judge and don't work for any of the parties that are actually involved in the lawsuit.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, Red, how does a partition referee differ from a receiver? I've heard both of these terms used before, so what's the difference between the two?
Sure, and I act often, actually more often, as a receiver than a partition referee. Now, their similarities are they're both that third-party, neutral, court-appointed officer. Partition referees are even more niche and unique. It's only in that situation that we were talking about in the earlier segment. Now, a receiver can be appointed, again, through litigation, different parties filing a lawsuit, and then seeking the appointment of a third-party receiver to take over something that is being litigated. A lot of times it's real property. Other times it's operating businesses. But in the context of what I do, and for the subject of this real estate show, I act as a court-appointed receiver and take over what I call typically problem properties. Most often, it's in the context of cities or counties in California who are suing property owners based on the dire health and safety conditions of that property. So this could be a single-family home. I deal with a lot of hoarder situations, very severe hoarder situations. It could be an apartment building where a landlord is ignoring the conditions of those tenants, or maybe worse sometimes. But a property that's fallen in such disrepair that the city, through their code enforcement measures and efforts, have just finally thrown their hands up. And again, they get to this last resort measure of a city typically hiring a law firm and filing a lawsuit under the Health and Safety Code section of our California statutes. And again, asking the judge to appoint a third-party receiver to take full control of that property, rehab that property, borrow money against that property to pay for that rehab, and then at the end of that process, allow the owner to take back control if that's possible, or in some cases, seek the permission of the court to do a court-authorized sale of that property.
So that was more prevalent in the bank-owned foreclosure crisis. I remember seeing a lot of deals because at that point, people were just kind of abandoning their properties. A lot of these properties were vacant, taken over by transients, So I remember seeing a lot of receivership stuff back then. Is it still pretty prominent here in San Diego, or has it diminished?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's prevalent, but they're different types of receivership. So during the downturn, during that dip in all of those real estate values, what you saw more of are what we call rents and profits receivers. That type of receivership is where a property owner has fallen behind in their mortgage, unable to pay that mortgage payment, so the lender will actually file a lawsuit to seek the appointment of a receiver to really restore and protect that asset. And so a rents and profits receiver, their goal is more focused on preserving that asset, collecting rents on the property, if that's a rent-producing property, and holding that property while the lender maybe is moving forward on the foreclosure process. The difference now in the sense of health and safety code receiverships, which is more my focus, is that no matter the condition of the economy or real estate values, if the property is in poor condition, a health and safety code receivership is always going to be a potential option to take. And frankly, when real estate values are going up, it makes health and safety code receiverships a more viable option in some situations because there's potentially more equity in the property that will eventually pay for the rehab of that property. So they kind of go inverse in a sense.
Let's talk about equity in property.
What property?
Equity. Let's talk about equity. I know we got the girls in here. I want to make sure before the show ends that we get a chance to hear from Sonia and her team.
Okay, definitely.
Sorry to interrupt, Red and Kyle, but it's good stuff, but it's attorney stuff. It's a little boring. I'm just going to call it as I see
I've
it.
been told that before.
Some of the stuff.
You'd rather talk about your Chargers losing?
No, I wanted to kind of get through that quick. We're done.
Talk about your Chargers.
We're not talking about losses. We're going to talk about Kyle, what he has to do next week after fantasy. Let's talk to Sonia.
Before we jump into it, again, if you want to connect with Red, give us a call, shoot us a text, 619-663-7355, 619-663-7355, or visit his website, griswoldlawsandiego.com, GRISWOLD Law San Diego. You fill a void in this market, and just getting to know you the way, and I've watched you in action handling, the human element that's involved with, these tough situations, and I was blown away. So definitely an awesome go-to source for, assistance with this stuff, 619-663-SELL. And you mentioned, in a market where prices are appreciating, the latest article that came out, prices are up 0.3% from August to September, up about 6% overall. So Sonia, Karen, what's going on in the real estate, the residential real estate side of the market?
Well, things are looking good. There's property, the value's up. There's still a ton of buyers out there, not enough inventory. What do you think, Kyle?
I love the market right now.
Yeah.
Seeing stable appreciation, I'm a huge fan of. I've been in this business for 13 years now. I've seen where we've had years where we go up 30% in a year. I've seen years where we go down 30% in a year. And that's scary to see. It's not really healthy for anybody except for maybe the investors that are very savvy and can pick and choose the timing of when to buy and sell. But for the average consumer, people that bought in the last 4 or 5 years, they're loving life right now. But conversely, people who bought, in 2006, 2007, they went through, a long period of hating life because their properties were worth half of what they bought them for, whereas some people's properties are worth double what they bought them for. So, that crazy roller coaster, not a huge fan of. Having this nice stable 0.3% in a month, that's a great number, and it makes it very predictable, which is great. Whether you're an investor, whether you're a homeowner, that's what we want to see. 6% per year, that's about the historical average for San Diego County. So it's nice to just kind of see this nice, stable appreciation. We don't get into that bubbly market that we've had before where the bubble burst and values drop. So I'm a big fan of what's going on.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. Things are looking good.
So I know that you guys are doing a lot of business up in North County. You do a lot of stuff up in Escondido. You've got some new stuff coming on the market. What are you seeing in that area?
It's such a great place to buy. You get so much more for your money over in Escondido or just all over North County. Right now, I have this awesome 4-bedroom, 2-bath property over in Marietta. It's gorgeous. It's almost shy of 4,700 square foot.
Wow.
Yeah, it's.
So I know a lot of people that make the commute from Temecula, Marietta area down to San Diego, and that just speaks to it. You get 4,700 square foot. What does something like that sell for in Marietta?
Well, it varies. It depends where the location. And this specific one is over at Bear Creek Golf Club, Jack Nicklaus signature course.
On the 7th hole.
On the 7th hole. So it's right on the golf course.
These girls are our resident golf experts.
That's right.
If you're ever doing a golf tournament and you need a couple ringers, Sonia and Karen from Whissel Realty, they're your ringers on the golf course.
That's right. I'm not even reading it off my phone right now at all.
All right. I have something coming up in November. A bunch of CPAs. We hold this tournament every year for a bunch of CPAs. Okay. I need your guys' assistance. We'll talk after the show.
Yeah.
Golf tournament.
Yeah,
it's a great way to network with a bunch of great CPAs.
I do.
That's all that's playing to CPAs.
Okay. Well, it is PGA certified golf course too. So this something like this, this private community, it's going to be $995,000. But you're getting so much more, $1 million, but it's on this amazing golf course.
And it's 4,700 square feet, which is twice as big as my house.
That's a monster house.
It is. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. It's peaceful. It's just one of those communities you want to be in, especially if you play golf.
Love it. So if you want to connect with Sonia, get some more info on this particular property up in Marietta, 4,700 square foot house on a golf course.
On a golf course.
Under $1 million.
That's right.
Give us a call. Shoot us a text, 619-663-SELL, 619-663-7355. We're going to head to a break, but when we get back, I want to talk about this article that came out naming San Diego the worst city in America to build wealth. You are listening to Whissel Wednesdays here on AM 1170, The Answer.